Hey Risers, welcome to Financial Friday with Inspire Empowerment Podcast. And thank you for joining us today. I'm Rosie. Caitlin here.
It's 2 over here.
Hey, Val.
All right, and before we get started, there's a few announcements to make.
Hey, so guys, I just want to talk about S9 Custom Tea. Let's check us out our custom tea here.
Nice and
Right?
shiny.
Nice and shine. If you like what you see and you want your own custom tea, check him out. My buddy Johnny Lee here at S9 Custom Teas. Look him up on Facebook, S9 Custom Tea, and he will be able to help you with all your custom print needs. All right. So they do more than just T-shirt. So let's get started on today's topic.
All right, taxes.
No.
As you guys all know, April 15th is coming up. So a great topic for us to discuss is taxes. So growing up, I didn't know what taxes were or who paid them. But
I just
Yeah.
knew taxes were evil.
that's what I heard too.
Yeah,
that's
taxes
what I
are
heard
bad.
too. But taxes are required. It's a required contribution to the state government revenue. And then obviously, there's debates about where that money goes. but
That is a segment all its own.
yeah, it is.
Va's itching to answer that, but we're going to hold him back and rein you in.
I think almost everything we do, like we buy stuff or when we go to work and we make money, there's taxes involved.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, see, the thing is this. The government obviously needs revenue, right? Any business needs revenue.
Yeah.
Yep.
The government is just another form of a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only form of revenue a government has is taxes.
That is
Well,
true.
that could, yeah, sure. I mean, they have other ways too, but
Well, I mean, yeah, we're not going to go into all of
Yeah.
that, but
Taxes is the biggest thing that we
Yeah.
see. It follows us everywhere.
hey, so like, let's say that if you don't like taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's gonna pay for the lights, the street lights, and who's gonna pay for the police officer?
That is true.
Yeah.
that is why the government needs taxes because
pay
it
it.
is a revenue because they have to pay.
For infrastructure.
Like here in California, especially here in Fresno, right? Fresno PD, Caltrans, the people that fix our roads,
Public
city
schools.
public works, teachers. Yeah, all of that is paid by publicly funded money through our taxes.
So who actually paid taxes? Who?
Technically, everyone
Everyone,
does.
yeah.
Really?
But, well, there's like certain taxes like consumption taxes, which are taxed on items. And like sometimes when my siblings go, they pay those little taxes, But to be called a taxpayer, you are obligated to pay certain taxes like income tax that gets taken out of your pay and stuff like that.
Is income tax legal? I get
Legal?
asked that. We have that debate. I have that debate with some of my friends every now and then. But taxes are a levy against our payrolls. There's gas taxes, cigarette taxes. There's property taxes, right? So it's just a form of generating revenue throughout the year, so that the government can pay for like what we talked about earlier, right? Public workers, police officers, teachers, and fix the roads and build new schools and stuff like that, right? But so that's why we have taxes. It's supposed to build the infrastructure for us, keep us safe and stuff like that. Firemen, But yes, you are right. It is a requirement if you are making money. So.
I do know that there are 3 different categories too, or there might be more, but the
main
main
three.
ones are progressive, regressive, and proportional or flat taxes. Rosie, would you like to explain about that?
All right. So for progressive taxes, what that is, basically, for example, it's your federal income. So federal government uses marginal tax rates to calculate how much you get taxed. And as you have more income that is subject to tax, your average tax rate progresses.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to do something. Let's give a disclaimer. Real quick.
Yeah.
yeah. So we are not tax advisor. We are not licensed attorney, and we are not giving any tax advice or legal advice during this podcast. So all the views expressed here are information that we pull from the government website.
And should be taken as pure entertainment only and not.
Not financial advice or tax advice.
Please consult with your tax advisor for
Now,
that.
Rosie, you can continue talking.
All right. So then moving on to regressive taxes. So that is like your driver's license or any other license, and those taxes applied across the board and may affect lower income payers more.
So it's just like a flat
Oh, yeah.
payment that everyone pays.
Man,
Yeah,
that's-
so everybody pays the same taxes. And me and Caitlin talked about this before that it would affect the lower income payers because, you know, they make more than those who are in the 1%.
So like the lower income, if there's a tax that's like, let's say,
like registration tax for your vehicle.
it's a lot for a low income person, but for someone who makes a lot, that's not too bad of
Yeah.
a fee for them to pay. So it could potentially affect people in that way.
So basically, you guys are saying progressive is based on a percentage, and regressive taxes are kind of fixed for everybody.
Yep,
Doesn't
it's just
matter
there.
Yes.
how much you make.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I take that back. I don't think vehicle registration are like,
It's not a tax; it's a fee.
yeah, it's a fee. Yeah. So
But fee, tax, tomato.
avocado guacamole. I'm just kidding.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, even with this marginal tax rate, like a lot of people don't understand it either, right? People just
So you're saying that the more money I make, the more I pay? That don't even sound fair, dude.
I know. But is the system really fair?
I do know that with income and stuff, we have the 7 brackets, and then based on the brackets, that's how much you would pay. And let's say you make more, if you fill in those brackets more, then the percentage goes up. I know that's a whole different conversation, and it's so much more confusing. But that's all I know, my understanding about how it is. And some people do not like it. I don't. I mean, I think we all would not like to pay more if we get more, you know.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. See, the thing about taxes, it's a double-edged sword, right? It's like you don't want to pay taxes, but then
You want your street fix?
yeah, you want your free public school that your kids go
Yeah.
to, right?
Well, technically,
You want
it's not free.
Well, okay, yeah. You want your no-cost public school that your kids go to. When you call 911, you expect somebody to answer, right? So it's one of those things where it's like, it's a
Love and hate.
even if you think it's evil,
Yeah.
it's a love and hate relationship. Even if you think it's evil, it's a necessary evil, right?
But before we go into more specific detail, I just want to give a shout out to everyone who made money today in the stock market.
Woo!
All right. So a little bit about
Rosie, high five. Rosie made money today too.
So I mean, there are strategies to do cash flow, like weekly cash flow, monthly cash flow. Whether those cash flow is $1, $2, $10, $100, or $1,000, or any amount you want, cash flow is still cash flow, and profit is profit. And for those of you out there who is using certain option strategies to do your cash flow this week, congratulations! I want to give a shout out to one of my homie, Key Vang from Stockton, California, for
Go
his,
Key!
Yeah, for his cash flow this week on his option strategy.
Yeah, he's learning. He's expanding. So knowledge is power, but only if you implement what you have learned, right? Yeah, so what I was saying about the marginal tax rate right before we move on, right? Just so that people were like, well, too, you was going to talk about it, right? Like you said, there are the brackets, right? So without knowing the exact specific numbers, but if you make, I think it's 54,000 and under or something like that a year, then I think you're at the 10% range. So anything over that, you bump up to the next range. I think it's like 18% or something like that, right? Don't quote me on that, okay, guys? So anything over that is taxed at the 18%. Doesn't mean that just because you made $1 more over the 54,000, for example, your whole 54,000 is taxed at the 18%. So that's what they mean by the marginal tax rate.
Okay, that's interesting.
All right. And then lastly, the third category for taxes is proportional or flat taxes. And that basically is the amount you pay is proportional to the amount that you make. And would you like to explain Or give an example.
Yeah, so for example, instead of paying a certain amount or your income going up and then your taxes going up, basically, let's say there's like a 5% tax rate. So 5% of whatever you make, that's what will be taken. 5% of what I make, regardless of which our incomes are, it's 5% each person.
Oh, it's
So,
flat.
Yeah.
It's a fixed percentage rate, right?
So do you think that's fair too?
All I hear is money, money, money being taken from me.
I know, huh?
Why should I even work? No, like I said, it's one of those things, right? It's like, okay, I don't like paying taxes because I feel like that's being taken away from me. It's like things are already expensive enough. It's hard for me to pay for my bills and take care of my kids and live and that already. But again, like I said, the cops gotta get paid when you call 911.
Yep.
The firemen's gotta get paid when they come save your house from burning down, right? Teachers gotta get paid at City College and Fresno State. You know, I mean, even though tuition is going up, I mean, like you said, I don't know where tuition is going, but
So is it, even though, we all don't really like taxes, it's always good to be well aware of the taxes, though, to know where it
Yes.
goes, how it affects you, certain taxes you pay. Because before I even looked into what taxes were and why we have them, I didn't realize that there were different ways, like what we just talked about, progressive ways that they use taxes. And I didn't know that certain items are taxed a different way too. So why is it important for us to know about all of this? Does it help us learn to spend our money more wisely? Does it help us to maybe just help us not get into so many recurring debt or trouble?
well, it goes back to what I said earlier. Knowledge is power, right? But it doesn't mean anything unless you implement it, right? It doesn't mean anything without action. You could learn all you want, but if you don't take any action, what's the point of learning it, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you get this new phone, right? Like when the new iPhone 13 or the Samsung, whatever Samsung's at right now, 30, 40, whatever it is. When that new phone comes out, there's new features, there's new things that you can do to it, right? You pay all this money for that, and if you don't learn how to use it, are you getting your value for it, right? So it's the same thing with taxes. All these taxes are levied against you. You really have no choice in it. I mean, you do to a certain extent, but then you got to be down at City Hall. You got to be down at your local town hall meetings and stuff like that as they are proposing it. You got to read through the measures that they are proposing before you vote on it and stuff like that, right? So you do have some sort of control over it. But once it's ratified and it takes effect, you really have no control. It's just automatically taken out, and you just got to pay it, right? But if you know how to take advantage of it, if you know how to use that iPhone to its maximum potential, if you're a taxpayer and you know how to leverage, like you guys know that you guys can reach out to your council members, your supervisors at any time because they are public servants. You're a taxpayer, and if you have a concern, you can reach out to them and address them, and they're supposed to respond to you. But see, if you don't do that, and all you do is sit here and complain about why am I paying so much taxes, well, if you don't go and voice your opinion to them, how are they going to know?
I see.
That is why it's important for advocacy, right, Val?
That's correct. But not all of them will respond to you.
But it's better to try than to not try. And that's part of knowing. Because if you don't know, you just don't do it, right? So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I did have a question about the difference between income taxes and payroll taxes.
Rosie, do you know anything about payroll taxes?
And no, I do not.
So, payroll taxes are pretty much taken out as you are working, right? So whether you're a W-2 or you're an independent contractor, W-9, payroll taxes are paid out, right? If you're a W-2, then you pay half of it, so they take it out of your gross earnings, and the employer pays the other half of it. So the total is about 15.6 or something like that. So you guys each come up with like 7.6 or whatever the number comes out to. So those go to pay for your FICA taxes, Medicare, Social Security, unemployment here in California, and various other things, whatever it gets taken out to. Those are payroll taxes. They're taken out as you are working, as
So
you are getting
each
paid.
paycheck.
Yes, each
paycheck.
paycheck.
All right.
Now, if you're a 1099, then you're supposed to pay it quarterly, depending on your business model and how you do your accountings, or you can pay it all in one lump sum at the end. But payroll is every paycheck, and then income taxes is at the end of the year, due by April 15th, which is why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
And depending on how much payroll taxes they have already taken out, and depending on what bracket you fall into, then if you owe money, you'll pay more money. If they've already taken enough money out of your payroll taxes, then you usually get a refund depending on your exemptions and stuff like that.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, because I was like, isn't it the same thing? Because it's taking out of paychecks, but that definitely clears up why they're two separate things.
Yeah. It's income taxes is purely federal. I mean, there's a state side to it too. Every state has its own income tax as well, but income taxes is a federal thing, right?
Yeah.
Payroll taxes are state, local governances, Medicare, Social Security. These are programs that you are putting into. Social Security is a big issue right now too.
Yeah, and there are certain states that don't have income taxes.
Yeah.
So
there are.
like Alaska, Florida, Nevada, New Hampshire, South Dakota,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Tennessee, Texas, Washington, Wyoming.
And with these taxes and everything, who controls it, or where does it go? Rosie, do you know?
It goes into a black hole.
That's
Or
what
who's
Rosie
in charge
told
of
me.
it?
I believe it's the IRS, right?
The government.
Well, yeah, basically
The IRS,
the
yeah,
government.
so the IRS is for the government, and so like I know that depending on what kind of tax it is. So like if it's a property tax, that's bond measure. Property tax, it goes to the county, and or it goes to that respective county or region, and that governing body distributed to the other sub or local governing body.
Oh,
If it's a
okay.
state tax, it goes to the state.
And property taxes, those are taxes on property owned by individuals, right?
Correct.
And even like corporations as well.
Yep.
And it's based on the value of the property and things like that on the property, right? That's what a property tax would be?
Yep.
Okay.
That is correct.
So like you can't really technically you can't really just own a home, because
Yeah.
even if you pay it off, you're still gonna have to pay tax on it.
Oh, okay.
I did not know that.
I
It
didn't
is
know that
never
either.
really your home, because if you don't pay the taxes on it, they will take it from you.
Oh.
So it is yours as long as you're paying.
Paid the taxes.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I thought once you paid off
Yeah,
your mortgage, you were
it's
good.
That's what I thought so too. I
What
didn't
the
know that there
heck?
were taxes.
That's crazy.
Right
No,
after.
it's cool. I used to think that way too, and then I had to Google it, and I'm like, what? Man, this is not fair, man.
Well-
I paid this off 30 years.
I'm glad we all know that, and hopefully you guys, hopefully that
You
was
learn.
new for you guys too.
Yeah.
You learned too.
Yeah, so we talk about a lot of stuff today. We're talking about ranging from taxes. It is tax season. And so, yeah, I know as we wrap things up, guys, please understand that be mindful of your tax liability. And if you have any more questions, please give us a shout out and come and talk to us in person. And we'll probably give you some ideas about how to reduce tax liability, especially if you're a business. There's a lot of stuff that we can talk about. And maybe we might just do a session on business taxes, So,
Yeah, we might. Yeah.
so what do we got today for giveaways?
We still do have our Jamba cards. All you gotta do is comment Jamba down below. Make sure you're subscribed, and we will give it out. We will draw out who will get it. We also have the dash cam to give away. It is gonna be given away once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So get your friends, your family, come subscribe, and let's get to 1,000.
Yeah.
Woo.
And again, since we are talking about taxes, April 15th is coming up, deadline. So, do your taxes. That's all I gotta say.
Get it in, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get it in.
Get it in. There is a penalty if you do not get it in or file the extension. But yeah, other than that, I just wanted to say thank you guys for tuning in to the Inspired Empowerment Podcast here. We hope that we are bringing you great value here, and you guys are learning just as these ladies are. I myself learn things from them as well, and we hope that you guys continue interacting with us. If there are any questions that you guys do have, go ahead and post a comment down there. But make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, and let's get interactive. Let's get talking, and we're here to help the community, which is you guys. So other than that, we're all done. Have a happy weekend. See you guys.